Welcome back to another tabletop review. Today we'll take a look at the Rock Island Armory VR80 mag-fed shotgun. About a year ago I saw a couple of guys at an outdoor range with tactical looking shotguns having a ball shooting up all kinds of targets. It looked like a lot of fun. And our current ammo shortage has been continuing. I've noticed that shotgun ammo appears readily available and reasonably priced. Given how much my family and I enjoy our range time, it got me to thinking, would it be worthwhile to get one of these? I went on a search, and after looking at a bunch of different options, concluded that this mag-fed Turkish-made VR80 from Rock Island Armory was probably the best choice for my interests. It had good internet reviews and a price that seemed reasonable. Finding one turned out to take a little effort, but after a few months of searching, here it is, the Rock Island Armory VR80. So now that I've had a few months to play with it, well, has the VR80 lived up to expectations? But let's stop here for a moment, make sure that this gun is cleared first. By the way, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Rock Island Armory is a Philippine-American company with an excellent reputation and is known for excellent M1911 pistols. Rock Island Armory, or RIA, has a firearms history that dates back to 1905 and includes a family-owned sporting goods store in the Philippines. RIA is known for building some of the best pistols, revolvers, and shotguns available. In 1985, Armscor Precision International opened its first United States office in Pahrump, Nevada, and soon acquired the Rock Island Armory brand. The Rock Island Armory brand is just one arm of the larger Arms Corporation of the Philippines, or Armscor. Now the VR80 itself is actually Turkish-made and imported by Rock Island Armory. But made in Turkey is not a problem for me. I have a Turkish-made 9mm Canik TP9 FSX race pistol that is just plain outstanding. Craftsmanship is excellent and the price was extremely low for what you get. If this VR80 was anything like my Canik, I was very much interested. And the VR80 is the second generation of IRA's AR-style magazine-fed shotgun. What makes this particular shotgun so appealing is its modern AR-15 design and serious improvements over its predecessor, the VR60. As for packaging, I've bought a few new guns in my lifetime, but this VR80 wins the prize for being the most oiled up gun from the factory I've ever seen. I'm not exaggerating when I say the oil was literally dripping off of this thing when I removed it from its packaging. There was no way this shotgun could be handled, let alone fired, before it was completely stripped and wiped down. Now that's my first warning to you about the VR80, but there's more. My second warning is that while cleaning the upper, I found quite a few metal shavings that appear to be from the machining process. And like I said, I've bought quite a few guns in my life, and I've got to say I've never seen anything like this. It's as though these parts were machined and assembled without much attention to cleaning them off first. So keep it in mind, you'll need to do this yourself before you fire this gun. If you had just wiped down the outside, loaded up and fired this gun, when you later broke it down for cleaning, you might have been freaked out by these metal shavings, wondering where the heck they came from. Clean and re-oil this gun thoroughly before use. By the way, when you clean the barrel, you'll notice 3 vent holes for the load piston's operation. These allow for the operation of the semi-automatic gas system. In addition to the manual and other paperwork, the gun came with 2 5-round magazines. It came with a plastic tool kit with additional chokes. Came with a choke tool and an Allen wrench. Came with a limiter. Came with 2 load pistons. One is installed. This is the one for heavy loads. And it came with an additional takedown tool here. And of course it came with a lock. I added 2 9-round magazines and a red dot. The Armscor Rock Island Armory VR80 is a gas-operated semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun. It's mostly a metal gun, except for the stock and the grips. And the upper and the lower receiver are constructed from 7075 T6 aluminum. The barrel length is 20 inches, Overall length is 40 inches. Weight is 8.27 pounds unloaded and over 9 pounds when loaded. Width is 2 inches. The height is 7 inches. The gun comes with full modified and cylinder choke tubes. And 2 load pistons are provided, one for light and one for 3-inch magnum loads. 2 5-round magazines are provided, and as I mentioned earlier, there are 9-round magazines and even 19 shell magazines are available. While this gun has a one-piece thumb hole style stock and pistol grip, it can be removed and replaced with just about any AR-15 stock, as well as just about any AR style pistol grip. So you can easily customize to fit your own needs. Sling points are here, and there's also ample Picatinny rail here for the attachment of accessories and optics. And while the barrel shroud looks like a suppressor, it's really just a shroud. The charging handle can be swept quickly to either side. And the safety is ambidextrous. The magazine release is positioned like AR, but obviously it's much bigger. Same for the bolt release. It's placed in an AR-like spot on the receiver, but it's big. The overall feel is AR-like, and everything functions naturally and smoothly. Okay, at 40 inches in length, more than 8 pounds unloaded weight, and with its AR-like tactical look, I felt a little bit like Rambo with this thing. This VR80 feels like a big gun, and one that means business, especially with a 9-round magazine. Speaking of magazines, be prepared that they're not easy to load. However, I made my own speed loader that made the job so much easier. If you're interested, check out my video on how to make one for yourself. It's cheap, easy, and it works great. You'll be glad you did. Trust me on this. As I said earlier, everything on the shotgun works smoothly, but there are a few things I should point out. Magazines are easy to seat, and they do so nice and firmly, even on a closed bolt. Very nice. However, when you hit the magazine release, the magazines do not drop free. You need to assist them manually to remove them. That's probably not a bad thing given their massive size and weight. The 5-round magazines are fine, but I really like the 9-round magazines best. They provide good capacity and good balance. I didn't even bother to consider the 19-round magazines. They seemed awkward to me, and they just look silly. I prefer the multiples of the 9-round magazines instead. I think they're more practical. The VR80's trigger is okay, but it seems slightly heavy to me. Some would find it a little annoying, but I don't think it's bad enough to make it worth looking for a fix. As for sights, the VR80 comes with flip-up AR-style sights. They're nice and add to the overall tactical look, but they seem like overkill to me. This is a shotgun, so with the exception of slugs, I don't see the point of them, especially the smaller peep sights. I tried different optics, but in the end, I decided to attach an old red dot that I had. I'd replaced it with better optics long ago, so I hadn't used it for years. It may be outdated as optics go, and not very refined compared to today's optics, but it's sturdy, rugged, and it keeps zeroed in, and it's reliable. For the VR80 shotgun, I think it's perfect. As for firing the VR80, I'm happy to report that it's actually quite comfortable to shoot. It's a 12-gauge gas-operated shotgun, so you know you're firing a 12-gauge, but even with heavy loads, you don't feel beat up. Even my daughter, who likes to shoot buckshot loads, thinks the VR80 is a remarkably soft shooter for a 12-gauge. But don't get me wrong here, I can attest that if you're running a lot of shells through this VR80, it's still likely to leave you with a bruise. But because you've had so much fun, you probably won't care. Speaking of running this gun, as you might expect, it can get fairly hot, but the heat shield does effectively protect your hand. The heat shield feels good and provides a good grip. In my experience, the shield never got too hot to hold. Now, one of the cons of the VR80 is its break-in period. According to the manual, 250 rounds of fairly heavy load ammo is recommended. Looking at other reviews, I'd heard everything from it took more than 250 rounds to it functioned perfectly right out of the box. Well, here was my experience. Okay, following the break-in recommendations in the manual, my first shells were Federal heavy field. I expected some cycling problems, but almost every shell out of the first 50 failed to cycle. Things began to improve a little with the third and final box of shells I had with me that first day, but not much. These shells were the best I could find at my local gun store at the time. Now, after a complete cleaning and oiling, I went back to the range a few weeks later with a couple of boxes of 2 3/4 inch Remington and a couple of boxes of 3-inch Winchesters. They ran much better, especially the Winchesters. By this time, I had run about 150 shells through this gun and was down to an occasional failure to cycle, but getting better. Strangely, while I was shooting my last magazine for the day, the charging handle just fell off. I'm not sure why or how. I just found it on the floor. After a third complete cleaning and oiling, I returned to the range to try out a box of 2 3/4 inch NSI 12 pellet buckshots I'd found. They turned out to be the best for smooth cycling so far and better than expected for distance accuracy. Perhaps the flip-up sights do make a little bit more sense than I'd originally thought. From the buckshot on, I didn't have a single problem. The gun was running perfectly. Now, out of curiosity, I tried a 5-round magazine of lighter target loads of Federal. Again, no problems. Wow. It seemed that the gun actually may have broken in much earlier than the manual suggested, maybe 175 rounds instead of 250. Still, I stuck with the heavier loads until I'd passed the 250 mark as recommended. Today, I'm pleased with this gun, light or heavy. It seems to run anything I load in it just fine. Even crap light load birdshot, no problems. I haven't tried slugs yet. I'll need to switch out the load piston for that. Maybe another day. The first gun I have with the VR80 is its break-in period. Even if you can find the recommended ammo at, let's say, 40 cents a round, that's still about $100 additional cost to get it to be a functioning, reliable shotgun. The second con has to do with the trigger. It might be just me, but compared to my Mossberg 590 or Francie shotguns, this one can certainly be better. And while the heat shield is pretty good, why aren't there M-lock slots on the bottom here? And while it's not a big deal, I think the gun could have been shipped with less Turkish grease and oil. I know they look cool. I'm not sure about these flip-up sights, whether they actually go with this shotgun, although, you know, they might be useful with slugs. Also, I found the gas-operated system to be a very dirty one. Compared to my semi-automatic Francie 12-gauge shotgun, the VR80 seems to get much dirtier and is much more challenging to clean. I mean, really messy. Good thing it's not too bad to break down. And one more thing. Although not common, I should mention that I've heard barrel problems with the VR80, and to be honest, that spooked me a little when I was first exploring the gun for purchase. But I also heard consistently that Rock Island Armory was great at their customer service and support, so I thought it was worth the risk. Thankfully, I personally haven't had any problems. On reflection, I seem to have listed a lot of cons. I hadn't planned on that, and I don't want you to get the wrong impression here, because as a tactical semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun, the VR80 is indeed really outstanding. It has a great reputation overall. I love its gas-operated semi-automatic and AR-15 layout, ergonomics, and controls. It's well built with upper and lower receiver constructed from 7075 T6 aluminum. I really like the magazine-fed operation and the fact that it came with 2 5-round magazines, as well as the versatility of its 9-round plus 1 capability. The magazines themselves appear rugged and well made. The stock and the grip are removable, which provides plenty of operation for modifications, within the law of course. I like the ambidextrous charging handle and safety. Accuracy with the right buckshot at even 50 yards is very good, so I think I'll hang on to these flip-up sights for right now. The VR80 is comfortable to shoot, appears to be able to handle a variety of loads. It can be easily modified to fit your needs, and Rock Island Armory seems to provide very good customer support. And there's no doubt that it's priced very competitively, and it gets top scores for being fun to shoot. Rock Island Armory provides a pretty good set of detailed instructions for disassembly in their manual. My suggestion is that you find space to lay out the parts in the order in which they're removed, so you'll have them in the proper order for reassembly. You'll thank me for this later. Step 1 is to remove the magazine, and step 2 is to unscrew the barrel shroud. Then pull the fore-end shield off. Next, push the forward detaching pin till it sets. Step 5 is push the rear detaching pin until it sets. Step 6 is detach the upper unit from the lower. Step 7 is to unscrew the gas system retaining nut. Step 8 is to remove the split rings. Step 9 is to slide the piston off of the barrel. Step 10 is to remove the charging handle. And you can remove the slide with slide extension. Step 11 is to use an Allen wrench to remove both barrel screws. And step 12 is to pull the barrel and bolt assembly from the upper unit. And there you are. Now, to reassemble, you just follow the disassembly steps and reverse to reassemble. So we'll begin with putting the bolt assembly back together and into the upper unit. Next, we'll return the Allen screws that hold the barrel in place. We'll return the charging handle. We'll return the piston to the barrel. Return the split rings. Return the gas system retaining nut. Return the upper unit to the lower. Push in the rear detaching pin until it is seated. Push the forward detaching pin until it sets. Return the fore-end shield. Screw the barrel shroud back on the barrel. And test for function. The manufacturer's suggested retail price on the Rock Island Armory VR80 is $699, but you can expect sales out there for about $600. $650 is common. When I was looking to buy, unfortunately, so was everyone else, so it took me a while to find one available at a good price, and I had to drive to another state to get it. But today, from what I can see, things look a little better currently for price and availability. Now, before we end today's video, I'd like to remind you that if you haven't already, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe down below. And thanks for watching. So the Rock Island Armory VR80 is a big gun. It successfully mimics the AR-15 style fairly well, at least on the outside. The controls are large, like the magazine release and the bolt release, and they work fairly nicely. You can swap the charging handle easily from side to side. The stock and the grips can be replaced if you so desire. The barrel shroud is more decorative than functional, but I think it adds to the tactical look overall. The shields provides for good gripping and control and doesn't heat up too much even during excessive use. The VR80 is a big gun, but it's easy to handle overall. Loading the magazines can offer a bit of a challenge as the shell rims can get caught in each other, and the magazines don't drop free when ejected. The gun comes with 2 5-round magazines, and 9-round magazines are readily available and recommended. Although 40 inches in length and weighing more than 9 pounds loaded, the VR80 is easier to handle than you might expect, and it's nicely balanced. And the flip-up sights add to the AR-15 style, but this gun really calls for a red dot. I found that the recommended break-in period was needed and a bit tedious, but again, for a 12 gauge, the VR80 was easy to shoot and control and more comfortable than you would expect. It's also quite accurate. And don't be surprised that this shotgun will likely challenge you to take on more and more difficult targets. My family and I really love shooting this gun. We always seem to run out of ammo before we run out of fun. I'll admit that I really love semi-auto shotguns. It's hard to beat sending 9 rounds of 12 gauge shot downrange in just a few seconds for absolute fun. But the question is, has the mag-fed Rock Island Armory VR80 lived up to expectations? Oh yeah. The smile on my daughter's face after she had cut a cardboard target in half with one magazine of buckshot at 24 feet was priceless. And the VR80 not only looks cool, it's comfortable to shoot. It's accurate, reliable, versatile, and it's very capable. Now another good question might be, beyond the awesome fun factor, what's the VR80 really good for? I think that's a fair question. My first thoughts go to its use as a home defense weapon. Add a laser and tactical flashlight and the right ammo, and you've got a reliable, effective solution. My internet searches also suggest its value for a 3-gun in an open class division. And realistically, again with the right ammo and depending on your state, the VR80 could make an effective hunting weapon for the right game. Okay, I'll admit it's a little messy to clean if you run a lot of shelves through it. And again, I don't really mind that chore given the fun I've had. But in my opinion, the mag-fed VR80 is more than just a fun semi-automatic shotgun. It was affordable to buy and it's affordable to shoot. It's robustly built with sufficient flexibility and options for customization. It had excellent ergonomics and really comfortable shooting characteristics. It's accurate and reliable, and I think it really looks good. But back to the fun factor. Oh yeah, this gun is really hard to beat. And you know, at the end of the day, it's just hard to do much better than that. Any weapon you carry is better than the one you left at home. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll be back for my next tabletop review. Until next time, stay safe.